A final warning has been released. Archangel Michael says your house is in serious danger, and only this message can help you stop what is coming. Read it now. My beloved, pause for a breath. Feel the stillness that gathered around you just now. This moment did not drift into your life by chance. It arrived with intention, with timing so precise that it could only have found you. You were seen before you were searching, you were known before you were listening, and now, here you are. Precious soul, this message has crossed many unseen paths to reach your heart, because you are ready to receive it. Not because you are weak, but because you are aware. Not because you are late, but because you are right on time. Let the noise soften. Stay with this message. Something gentle and important is unfolding for you. You may have felt it first in silence, my beloved, not as fear but as a quiet tightening inside, a pause in your breath when the room grew still. It came without explanation, a soft awareness brushing your thoughts, asking you to notice. Perhaps it appeared as restlessness at night, or a sudden urge to check your space, or a feeling that something needed care. These moments were not accidents. They were gentle signals, arriving with patience, waiting for your attention rather than demanding it. Precious soul, your inner knowing speaks in sensations before it forms words. It hums beneath your routines, tapping lightly when something asks to be seen. You may have dismissed it as stress, exhaustion, or imagination, yet it returned in subtle ways. A repeated thought. A familiar discomfort. A sense that your home, your sanctuary, was asking for alignment. These signs were never meant to frighten you. They were meant to awaken awareness, the kind that keeps you present and prepared. There are times when the world remains outwardly calm, while inner currents begin to move. You might have noticed small disruptions that felt symbolic rather than serious. Objects misplaced, sleep patterns shifting, emotions surfacing without clear cause. These are not warnings of harm, my dear one, but invitations to listen more closely. Your spirit recognizes changes before your mind understands them. It alerts you softly, so you can respond with clarity instead of urgency. You are sensitive in ways you may not fully recognize. You feel atmospheres. You sense shifts in energy and intention. When something approaches that requires attention, your intuition stirs. It does not shout. It nudges. It asks you to slow down and observe. You may have felt drawn to quiet moments, to reflection, to creating order where there was clutter. This pull toward harmony is guidance at work, reminding you that awareness is a form of protection. Do not judge yourself for the times you ignored these nudges. You were learning their language. Intuition often arrives disguised as ordinary thought, easily overlooked amid daily noise. Yet even when unheard, it does not leave. It waits, steady and loyal, until you are ready. And now, my beloved, you are listening. That is why this message resonates within you, like a truth remembered rather than something new. Something is indeed shifting, but it is not rushing toward you with chaos. It is unfolding slowly, allowing space for understanding. The unease you felt was not a sign of danger, but a sign of transition. Your inner world was adjusting, preparing you to notice what mattered. When you acknowledge these feelings without fear, they soften. They become guidance instead of tension. Trust that your awareness arrived at the perfect moment. These subtle signs were preparing you, not testing you. They were reminders of your connection to wisdom that watches over you with care. As you honor these inner signals, you strengthen your sense of safety and clarity. Stay with this awareness, precious soul. Let it guide you gently, for it exists only to support you. Even now, the quiet messages continue to arrive through simple moments you might otherwise overlook. A desire to open windows, to clean corners, to breathe more deeply within familiar walls. A thought to speak kindly where silence once lived. These impulses are not random habits. They are invitations to restore balance and attentiveness. Your inner guidance encourages care, awareness, and conscious presence. reminding you that safety often begins with listening. My dear one, subtle warnings are expressions of love. They arise not to disturb your peace, but to protect it. When you respond with gentleness rather than resistance, you align yourself with a rhythm that supports you. You may notice that calm follows attention, and clarity follows acceptance. This is how intuition teaches, through repetition and reassurance, never through force. As you continue to notice these signs, your confidence will grow. You will trust yourself more. You will feel steadier within your space, and in that steadiness, you will understand that these inner signals were always guiding you toward harmony, readiness, and peace. Allow this understanding to settle gently within you tonight, and in the days ahead. Let it soften your thoughts and steady your movement. When you care for your space with intention, you care for yourself. When you listen inwardly, you respond wisely outwardly. These small acts of awareness build a quiet strength around you. Hold this truth close, precious soul, and remember that every subtle sign you notice is proof of a loving guidance walking beside you. Stay present, breathe, and honor what you feel. My beloved, there is movement happening beyond what your eyes can see. A gentle choreography unfolding in quiet places. Destiny rarely arrives with noise. It prefers subtle rearrangements that prepare the way without drawing attention. While you continued living your days, unseen hands were adjusting timing, softening edges, and aligning moments so that you would meet this turning point with awareness rather than shock. Nothing has been rushing toward you. Everything has been approaching with care. There were prayers you whispered long ago, perhaps even prayers you forgot you made. They were not dismissed or delayed without reason. They were held, examined, and answered in ways that protected you. Some doors remained closed not to deny you, but to shield you while something stronger was formed within you. Redirections that once felt confusing were actually guardians, steering you away from paths that would have drained your spirit. Even pauses, the long stretches where nothing seemed to change, were purposeful spaces of preparation. Precious soul, destiny does not simply happen to you, it moves with you. It responds to your growth, your readiness, your willingness to listen. As you evolved, so did the outcome. What approaches now carries a different shape than it once did because you are different. The unseen movement has been adjusting itself to match the strength you have developed, the wisdom you have earned, and the clarity you are beginning to claim. You may have sensed time stretching strangely, days feeling heavier or lighter without explanation. This was not confusion, it was recalibration. Moments were being spaced just right, so that when change arrives, you can receive it without losing balance. The unseen works patiently, never forcing transformation before the heart is ready. That patience is an act of love toward you. There were also protections you never noticed. Situations that could have escalated, quietly dissolved. Conversations that might have harmed you never happened. People who were not meant to walk further with you drifted away without drama. These were not coincidences. They were careful removals, clearing the path so that what belongs with you can arrive without obstruction. My dear one, preparation often feels like waiting, but it is actually motion disguised as stillness. While you questioned your progress, your foundation was being strengthened. While you wondered why, answers were slow, circumstances were being arranged so the answers would last. Destiny is not interested in temporary fixes, it seeks lasting alignment. That is why it took the time it did. Now the movement becomes slightly more visible, though still gentle. You may notice synchronicities, small confirmations, moments that feel guided rather than accidental. These are signals that the unseen alignment is nearing completion. What has been forming is ready to meet you in the physical world, not as disruption, but as transition. Understand this, precious soul, nothing approaching is meant to harm you or overwhelm you. It comes to reposition you into greater harmony with yourself and your space. The house you live in, both outer and inner, has been included in this preparation. Stability, awareness, and clarity are being invited to settle more deeply there. You are not being caught off guard. You are being guided forward. The hidden movement of destiny has always respected your pace. It waited when you needed rest. It advanced when you were strong enough. And now it draws closer because you are ready to recognize it without fear. Trust this process. It has been shaped by care, patience, and intimate knowledge of your heart. What unfolds next does so with purpose, and with you fully seen. There is also a deeper layer to this alignment, one that touches memory and meaning. Events from your past have been revisited, not to reopen wounds but to reclaim lessons. Patterns that once repeated without resolution have been gently interrupted. This interruption is mercy. It allows you to step out of cycles that no longer serve your becoming. Destiny learns from your history and then chooses a wiser direction, one that honors who you are now. You may feel a quiet encouragement to slow certain plans or accelerate others. Follow this guidance without needing to understand every reason. The unseen movement sees further than the present moment. It understands how today's choices echo into tomorrow's peace. When you cooperate with this flow, even small decisions become protective acts, shaping outcomes that support your well-being. Beloved, destiny is not distant or impersonal. It knows your tenderness. It considers your limits. That is why what approaches arrives softened, wrapped in timing that respects your nervous system and your heart. Nothing crashes into your life unannounced. It knocks gently, waiting for your consent to enter. As this alignment completes, you may feel a calm certainty replacing earlier unease. This is recognition. Your spirit remembers what it agreed to long ago. You are not stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into something familiar at a deeper level. Let this recognition steady you. Let it remind you that unseen movement has always been on your side. Quietly preparing a moment where awareness meets opportunity, and where destiny reveals itself as guidance rather than surprise. Breathe into this knowing now, and allow patience to crown your understanding with peace. What has aligned will continue to support you, gently, steadily, faithfully, proving that destiny moves not to rush you, but to honor you completely always, without demand. In love, my beloved, you have arrived at a moment that feels quieter than it is powerful. This is the turning point where awareness becomes choice, and choice becomes direction. Nothing dramatic announces it. There is no force pressing against you. Instead, there is a gentle pause in the flow of things, as if life itself has slowed to ask for your attention. You can feel it in your body, in the way decisions linger a little longer before being made. This is not hesitation born of fear. This is discernment awakening. You stand between what has been familiar and what is beginning to call you forward. One path feels known, predictable, wrapped in routines that once kept you steady. The other path feels quieter, less defined, yet strangely honest. It does not promise ease, but it offers alignment. The choice before you is not about right or wrong. It is about resonance. It is about which direction allows you to breathe more freely, to live more truthfully, to feel more like yourself. Comfort can be kind, my dear one, but it can also become a soft barrier when it keeps you from listening deeply. Growth, on the other hand, often arrives without certainty. It asks for trust before it offers proof. This is why the moment feels tender. You are being invited to choose presence over habit, awareness over avoidance. Delaying this choice does not stop life from moving, it only allows old patterns to decide for you. And you were not meant to be carried forward by patterns you have outgrown. This turning point does not demand that you abandon everything at once. It simply asks you to acknowledge what you already know. There is something you have been feeling called to adjust, release, or begin. You have sensed it repeatedly, returning in quiet thoughts and subtle emotions. To ignore it would require effort. To honor it would bring relief. This awareness is your compass, pointing not toward danger, but toward integrity. Fear may whisper questions, reminding you of past disappointments or uncertainties. Listen gently, but do not let fear lead. Fear speaks from memory. Faith speaks from possibility. Choosing faith here does not mean pretending everything will be easy. It means trusting that you are capable of meeting what comes with wisdom and grace. You have done so before, even when you doubted yourself. This moment is no different, except that now you are more prepared. My beloved, timing matters. Choices made with awareness carry momentum. Choices delayed out of discomfort often create resistance later. This is not punishment, it is simply how energy moves. When you align with what feels true, movement becomes smoother. When you resist, life finds other ways to guide you back. You are being offered the chance to choose consciously, to step forward with clarity rather than be nudged later by necessity. Notice how your body responds when you imagine choosing differently. There is information there. Expansion, even when accompanied by nervousness, carries a sense of aliveness. Constriction, even when comfortable, carries heaviness. Your body knows before your mind decides. Trust this wisdom. It has been refined through experience, through survival, through growth. It wants what supports your well-being. This turning point is also an invitation to self-respect. To choose growth over stagnation is to honor your own becoming. You are not betraying your past by moving forward. You are completing it. Everything you have lived has led you here, to a moment where you can act with greater self-awareness and compassion. That is progress, not abandonment. If you choose to step forward, do so gently. There is no need to rush or prove anything. Courage can be quiet. Faith can be steady. Even small shifts made with intention can change the direction of a life. You are not expected to know every step ahead. You are only asked to choose the next honest one. My dear one, this turning point exists because you are ready. Not perfect, not fearless, but ready. Ready to listen, ready to respond, ready to trust yourself a little more than before. Hold this understanding close. Let it guide your decision without pressure or haste. Whatever you choose, choose with awareness. And know that choosing yourself, your truth, and your growth is always a sacred act. Remember, beloved, that choosing does not mean you are alone afterward. Support appears once commitment is made, often in ways you could not have planned. When you honor your inner truth, circumstances reorganize to meet you. This is not magic, it is alignment. You may notice help arriving through clarity, through unexpected ease, through calm confidence replacing doubt. These are confirmations that your choice was heard. Allow yourself to receive them without suspicion. This moment is gentle, but it is meaningful. It asks you to stand with yourself rather than against yourself. To trust that the wisdom guiding you now is stronger than the fears that once protected you. You are no longer who you were then. You have learned, adapted, softened, and strengthened. Let this be the moment you acknowledge that growth by choosing in its favor. Step forward with patience, kindness, and self-trust, knowing that every conscious choice shapes a future that feels more like home. Breathe now, precious soul, and let this decision arise from calm certainty, not urgency, knowing you are supported, guided, and deeply capable in this moment, my beloved. There comes a sacred moment when holding on requires more effort than letting go. You may be standing within it now, sensing that certain things no longer fit the way they once did. Habits that felt comforting have begun to feel heavy. Thoughts that once protected you now limit your breath. Relationships, roles, or identities you carried with care may suddenly feel too tight around your spirit. This awareness is not rejection of your past. It is recognition of your growth. Releasing does not mean erasing what has been meaningful. It means honoring its purpose and allowing it to rest. Everything you have held has served you in some way, even if that service was simply helping you survive. But survival is not your final state. Precious soul, You are being invited into spaciousness, into a life where peace is not borrowed but lived. To make room for that life, something old must be gently set down. You may fear that letting go will leave emptiness behind. This fear is understandable, for emptiness can feel like loss when you have grown accustomed to fullness, even when that fullness weighed you down. Yet this kind of emptiness is different. It is fertile. It is open. It is the quiet before something truer enters. Space is not absence. Space is invitation. There are beliefs you have repeated so long they sound like truth. Stories about who you must be to be loved, how much you are allowed to want, or how hard life must always feel. These stories once kept you safe by explaining the world in manageable ways. Now they restrict your becoming. Releasing them may feel like stepping without a map, but it also allows you to discover a wider landscape than you imagine. My dear one, you are not being asked to let go violently or all at once. This is a gradual unclenching, a soft exhale. Notice what drains you more than it nourishes. Notice what you defend even though it brings no peace. These are signs pointing toward release. When you listen without judgment, you will feel a natural readiness arise. Let that readiness guide you. There may also be grief here, and it deserves tenderness. Grief does not mean you are making the wrong choice. It means you cared. It means what you are releasing mattered. Allow yourself to feel this without rushing through it. Grief clears space, honestly. It honors what was while blessing what will be. When you let grief move, it leaves behind clarity rather than emptiness. As you release, you may notice a lightness returning to simple moments. Breathing feels easier, silence feels kinder. Your home begins to feel more like a reflection of who you are becoming rather than who you were. This is alignment unfolding. You are not losing pieces of yourself. You are gathering yourself more fully by letting go of what no longer belongs. Understand this, precious soul. Making space is an act of trust. It says you believe something meaningful will meet you there. It says you trust yourself to live without excess weight from the past. This trust is powerful. It signals readiness for renewal, for experiences that meet you with equal care and respect. You may worry that releasing will change how others see you. It will. But mostly, it will change how you see yourself. You will notice more honesty in your choices, more compassion in your boundaries, more confidence in your voice. When you stop carrying what is not yours anymore, you stand taller without effort. This is not transformation through force. It is transformation through truth. Letting go also teaches discernment. You learn what deserves your energy and what quietly consumes it. You learn that peace is not something you chase, but something you protect. In this protection, your life becomes simpler, not smaller, more intentional, more yours. Beloved, you are not behind for needing this moment of release. You are right on time. Life moves in cycles, and this one is about clearing, not acquiring. About refining, not proving. About choosing depth over accumulation. When you allow the cycle to complete, the next arrives with gifts that fit the space you have created. Hold this understanding gently. You are not emptying your life, you are preparing it. You are trusting that what is meant for you will arrive without needing you to cling to what has passed. Stay present with this process. Move slowly. Be kind to yourself. Release with gratitude, not regret. As you do, you will feel something subtle but steady take its place. Calm. Clarity. A sense of being at home within yourself. This is the quiet reward of making space. This is how renewal begins, softly, lovingly, and in perfect time for you. My beloved, take comfort now, for you are not standing unguarded in this moment. Even when you feel uncertain, a quiet protection surrounds you, steady and attentive. It does not rush or crowd you. It watches with patience, responding to your breath, your thoughts, your needs. You are guided in ways that respect your freedom, supported without being controlled. This is why calm can return even when questions remain. Protection does not always appear as walls or shields. Often it arrives as awareness, as an inner pause that prevents you from stepping where your spirit would be harmed. You may have felt sudden clarity that redirected you, or a gentle resistance when something was not aligned. These moments were guidance expressing care. They were signs that you are seen and valued, that your well-being matters deeply. My dear one, you are not expected to navigate everything alone. Guidance walks beside you through intuition, through subtle confirmations, through the quiet knowing that rises when you listen inwardly. When you trust this inner wisdom, you align with a current that carries you toward balance. You may not always know why you feel drawn toward one choice and away from another, but the guidance knows. It sees patterns and outcomes beyond the present moment. There is reassurance available to you now, and it asks only that you receive it. You do not have to earn safety through exhaustion or vigilance. You are allowed to rest into trust. When you soften your grip on control, you make space for support to move more freely. This does not make you careless, it makes you receptive. Receptivity is strength when it is grounded in awareness. You may notice that guidance often speaks through calm rather than urgency. It feels like steadiness returning to your chest, like your thoughts slowing enough to arrange themselves clearly. When something is right for you, it carries a sense of quiet alignment. When something is not, it brings subtle discomfort. Learning this language is part of your protection. It keeps you attentive without overwhelming you. Precious soul, signs may appear in ordinary moments. A phrase that resonates, a memory that clarifies, a sense of timing that feels intentional. These are not coincidences meant to confuse you. They are confirmations meant to steady you. When you acknowledge them, you strengthen your connection to guidance. When you ignore them, they wait patiently. Nothing meant to help you will abandon you. There is also reassurance in knowing that protection adapts to your growth. As you become more aware, guidance becomes more refined. It does not keep you small. It supports your expansion. It allows you to learn through experience while guarding your core safety. This balance is intentional. You are trusted with responsibility because you are capable of wisdom. My beloved, when fear arises, let it pass through without giving it authority. Fear is a signal, not a ruler. Guidance remains present even then, offering perspective and grounding. You may feel called to breathe more deeply, to pause, to seek quiet. These impulses are protective responses guiding you back to center. Follow them gently. You are also protected by your ability to choose kindness toward yourself. Self-compassion sharpens discernment. When you treat yourself with patience, you listen more clearly. You recognize when to move and when to rest. This attunement is a form of guidance you carry within. It grows stronger the more you honor it. Remember that guidance does not remove all challenges. It helps you meet them without losing yourself. It keeps your essence intact while circumstances shift. You may still face uncertainty, but you will not face it without support. There is a difference between being challenged and being endangered. You are being guided through growth, not pushed into harm. As you move forward, allow reassurance to become a steady companion. Let it remind you that you are watched over with care that adapts, responds, and remains. You are allowed to trust the signals you receive, to rely on the quiet wisdom that has brought you this far. Nothing essential about you is unprotected. Rest now in this knowing. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath deepen. Guidance remains close, attentive to your steps, respectful of your pace. You are safe to continue, safe to choose, safe to grow. Hold this reassurance within you as you move onward, confident that protection and guidance walk with you, faithfully, gently, and always. Carry this reassurance into the small decisions of your days. When you notice tension, pause and ask what would bring ease. When confusion appears, give yourself time rather than pressure. Guidance honors patience. It unfolds understanding step by step, never all at once. You are learning to recognize safety not as absence of challenge but as presence of care. Each mindful choice strengthens this recognition. Each act of listening refines your inner compass. Over time, trust becomes familiar, like a well-lit room you return to. You will notice fewer doubts lingering and more confidence settling quietly within. This is guidance integrating into your life, becoming practical, lived, dependable. Allow it to root deeply. Allow it to support you consistently, especially when you forget to ask. It remains ready, attentive, and kind. Trust this companionship as you walk forward today and tomorrow. Knowing care surrounds your steps, steadies your heart, and gently illuminates the path you choose with patience, grace, quiet strength. My beloved, this is the moment to remember who you truly are beneath all the layers you learn to wear. Beneath the adaptations, the compromises, the survival strategies, there is a steady strength that has never left you. It watched quietly as you endured, it learned as you learned. It waited patiently for the moment you would be ready to see it clearly. That moment is now. You are not becoming someone new, you are awakening to someone true. You have walked through seasons that required courage you did not realize you possessed. Each time you continued, even while unsure, you proved your resilience. Each time you chose kindness in the face of fatigue, you revealed your depth. These qualities were not accidents. They are signatures of your identity. You were shaped by experience, yes, but you were never diminished by it. You grew stronger in ways that are only now becoming visible to you. Precious soul, empowerment does not always arrive as confidence. Often it begins as honesty. The courage to admit what you need. The bravery to acknowledge what no longer fits. The willingness to choose yourself without apology. This honesty clears confusion. It gathers your scattered energy and brings it home. When you stand in this clarity, your presence changes. You move differently. You speak differently. You trust yourself more. There is a purpose stirring within you that does not demand perfection. It asks for authenticity. You are not meant to replicate another path, or fulfill an expectation that drains you. Your path is shaped by your insight, your compassion, your unique way of perceiving the world. When you honor this, you stop resisting your own design. Life begins to feel less like effort and more like expression. My dear one, you may have underestimated your influence because your strength is quiet. But quiet strength transforms deeply. It stabilizes spaces. It brings calm where there was tension. It encourages others simply by example. You do not need to announce who you are becoming. Your alignment will speak for itself. Empowerment rooted in truth does not seek validation. It radiates certainty. As this awakening unfolds, you may notice a new confidence forming, not loud or forceful but grounded. It feels like knowing where you stand without needing to defend it. This confidence allows you to set boundaries with compassion and pursue growth without guilt. It replaces self-doubt with curiosity. Instead of asking if you are capable, you begin asking how you wish to proceed. You are also remembering your worth. Not the kind measured by productivity or approval, but the inherent worth of being present, aware, and alive. This remembrance changes how you treat yourself. You rest without shame. You speak kindly inwardly. You stop postponing joy for some imagined future. Worthiness becomes a foundation rather than a goal. Beloved, destiny responds to this awakening. When you claim your identity, opportunities align more naturally. Choices feel clearer. Relationships adjust to meet your truth or gently fall away. This is not loss, it is refinement. Your life begins to mirror your inner clarity. The more you trust yourself, the more life trusts you with responsibility and possibility. There may still be moments of doubt. These do not erase your empowerment. They simply remind you that growth is ongoing. When doubt arises, meet it with patience rather than judgment. You are allowed to be powerful and uncertain at the same time. Strength does not require constant certainty. It requires commitment to listening and responding honestly. This awakening is also an invitation to step into visibility in ways that feel authentic to you. Visibility does not always mean being seen by many. It means being seen by yourself. It means allowing your true preferences, values, and desires to guide your actions. When you live this way, you feel more integrated, less divided within. Remember, precious soul, you are not late to your becoming. You are exactly where your growth has prepared you to be. Every experience has contributed to the wisdom now rising within you. Trust it. Respect it. Allow it to lead gently but firmly. You are capable of navigating what comes next because you are no longer disconnected from who you are. Let this empowerment settle into your daily life. Let it shape small choices and quiet decisions. Over time, these choices build a life that feels steady, meaningful, and aligned. This is not a sudden transformation. It is a deep remembering. And as you continue to remember, you will find yourself standing more fully in your purpose. Confident not because everything is known, but because you know yourself. My beloved, as this message draws toward its resting place, allow yourself to soften fully into this moment. Nothing more is being asked of you right now except presence. You do not need to solve anything tonight. You do not need to rush toward conclusions. Simply let what you have received settle gently within you, like light finding its way into quiet rooms. This calm you feel is not temporary. It is recognition. It is your spirit acknowledging truth. You were guided here not to be warned in fear, but to be reminded in love. Everything you have sensed, every shift you have noticed, was preparing you to trust yourself more deeply. Now that trust can become a companion rather than a question. Carry it with you gently. Let it inform your steps without burdening them. You are not walking blindly. You are walking with awareness. Precious soul, commitment does not always look like grand declarations. Often it is quiet consistency. It is choosing to listen when you feel something stirring. It is choosing rest when your body asks for it. It is choosing honesty over habit, kindness over self-judgment, presence over distraction. These small commitments shape a life that feels safe, aligned, and meaningful. As you move forward, remember that courage does not require urgency. You are allowed to move at a pace that honors your nervous system and your heart. Trust unfolds through gentleness. When you slow down enough to feel your own steadiness, you make choices that support you long term. This steadiness will guide you better than pressure ever could. You are blessed with discernment that grows clearer each time you honor it. When something feels right, allow yourself to receive it without suspicion. When something feels heavy, allow yourself to pause without guilt. This balance is wisdom in action. It will continue to protect you, not by limiting your life, but by aligning it. My dear one, let hope be practical now. Hope can look like cleaning a space, setting a boundary, speaking a truth kindly, or resting without explanation. Hope lives in these choices. It builds quietly. Over time, it becomes confidence rooted in lived experience. You will look back and realize how many moments of care shaped your safety and peace. This closing is not an ending. It is a blessing you carry forward. Let it remind you that you are seen, supported, and capable. Let it encourage you to trust what unfolds next, without needing to control it. Life responds to your willingness more than your certainty. Your openness allows guidance to meet you where you are. When doubt returns, as it sometimes will, place a hand over your heart and breathe. Remember this calm, remember this knowing. You can always return to it. It lives within you, steady and accessible. You do not lose it by being human. You strengthen it by being honest. Beloved, may your days ahead feel lighter because you are no longer carrying what is not yours. May your home feel more peaceful because you are present within it. May your decisions feel clearer because you are listening inwardly. And may your heart feel safe because you trust the wisdom guiding you. Stay with this message as it echoes quietly through your thoughts and actions. Do not ignore what resonated. Receive it as confirmation rather than command. You are free, and you are supported. Both can be true at once. Go forward gently now. Let your steps be guided by awareness, your choices shaped by compassion, and your future opened by trust. You are held in care that does not fade with time. And as you continue, know this with certainty. You are exactly where you need to be, moving steadily toward what is meant for you, protected by insight, strengthened by truth, and accompanied always by quiet, faithful love.